everyone, and welcome to another amazing episode of The Mixing Glass. It's me, John, and joined with me today is Mike Windsor. How are we doing today, Mike?
I'm doing good. I'm still coming in hot for my last victory at the Hey Bartender game, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, your last victory. You're 1-for-1, or 1-1. Sorry, not 1-for-1. Yeah, for those of you that are listening along and you haven't heard what Hey Bartender is yet, we are getting ready to do some really amazing bonus content in the future. And it is a bartender game show made by bartenders for bartenders. And let me tell you, it is so much fun. We've had a couple of our guests already play. But Danny had the luck of playing with us before the episode today with Mike. So it was a great way to break the ice before we even got to the show.
Can I show my picture?
Yeah, let's show the picture. Just blur out something that might be a little questionable. There you go.
Look, I blurred it. I actually didn't mean to do that, but I blurred it. There you go.
Yeah, the good thing is this isn't a podcast for children, so that's for the best. What Mike attempted to draw there was a hippocampus, so there might be a game called Dictionary, which is a lot of fun. Amazing. Well, we did talk a little bit about our guest today, so I feel like we should probably read a bio and get this man into the show.
Sounds good.
Danny Posey has worked in the hospitality industry for 17 years and has worked everywhere from college bars to high-end cocktail bars. He specializes in whiskey and creating amazing cocktails for guests in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Over the years, Danny has also enjoyed competing in cocktail competitions for the chance to learn new techniques and connecting with amazing individuals from around the country. With Northwest Arkansas being a smaller market with limited networking and educational opportunities for people in the industry, Danny has been trying to attend every industry event possible to help grow his community. In pursuit of this, Danny works closely with Chilled Magazine and continues to grow the Chilled community in Arkansas. He also plans to help reignite the Arkansasville, Fayetteville. Look at me go today. I'm really good at reading.
You ever been down to good old Arkansasville?
I haven't. God damn it. Let me try that again. All right. So, in pursuit of this, Danny also works closely with Chilled Magazine and continues to grow the Chilled community in Arkansas. He also plans to help reignite the Arkansas USBG chapter with the same hopes of bringing like-minded hospitality professionals together. Danny is currently the bar manager at Local Lime in Rogers, Arkansas, a Baja Cali Mex concept that uses fresh, local ingredients both in the kitchen and behind the bar. Danny, welcome aboard.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
yeah,
Danny.
Thank you for allowing me to butcher your hometown.
and his state too. It's not just his hometown.
Sorry. 0 for 2.
You know what Arkansas's state motto is, right?
Please tell me.
It's the natural state.
Is that true, Danny? You're the fact checker here.
Yeah.
It is the natural state. So my natural state is being unable to read sentences and bios of amazing guests on our podcast.
Some sort of joke.
Well, Danny, it is a long time coming. You've pretty much been a listener to the show since almost the beginning, which is kind of crazy. So thank you for listening along, following along, and now just being a part of the whole production. It's nice to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Always. We do like to start with something called Roll for Initiative. Now, I know you're a D&D fan. You love playing D&D, so I know you've got a spicy D20 over there. What do you have?
I have my skull.
A little skull die. Okay, so I have to ask you a question because we ask all D&D fans.
Nice.
Are you a dice goblin?
No. Not yet.
Not a dice goblin. Just like one set? One favorite set?
I got like 2 sets.
You have to have a couple sets just in case something happens. So, like if a goblin steals one.
Yeah, well, that's true. Or you have to put one in timeout because it rolled in that one. So that's a real thing.
Bad juju.
Bad juju. All right, Danny, roll that die for us. Let's get a little icebreaker question.
18.
Nice.
18. Oh, here we go. What is the greatest prank you've ever pulled on someone?
Ooh. I don't know.
Now, if you need some time to think, I'm sure Mike's probably got a favorite prank that he can share too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, so when I was first on the show, I told the story about the what was it? The Carolina Reaper flakes. that we put on my buddy's toothbrush.
Ooh.
That's a deep cut, but that's what I talked about. So I've got a different one for you. So at the shop that I work at, not CIC Power Box, because this would be completely unprofessional to do this.
Yeah, it would absolutely be unprofessional.
So you're familiar with like the little poppers, like at 4th of July, the little white, paper snappers that you throw on the ground, they pop, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever seen the cracker ones where it looks like an actual firecracker without a fuse?
Yeah.
I think probably. I grew up in Pennsylvania.
It literally looks like a little firecracker, but no fuse. And when you throw it on the ground, it explodes, and it's like a firecracker. So our buddy Hooch introduced these to us, and they're dangerous. And our shop has a bad habit. We bought like a 60-pack of them, and we have a bad habit of fucking with each other with them a little bit. The worst time that they ever got me was somebody put it on like under the toilet seat. Like on one of the little ridges that actually sits down on the rim. I was fortunately the first one to go in there after this happened. I sat down. It exploded, and like they kind of shoot out shrapnel. And you remember that picture of the hippocampus that I showed you, the part that we needed to censor? So that it exploded all over that censored part, and it hurt. And you could just hear me from the bathroom just be like, "God damn it!" And I still have not got them back for that, but that's that I didn't play that one, but we play pranks with those pretty often at the shop. So
that's pretty good.
It was.
No, you don't play at the shop. That'd be unprofessional.
Well, at the shop, but not at CIC Power Box. At a different. I work at a couple different shops, obviously. So I would never do that there. That's just absurd.
Danny, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't have anything. Like, I don't like people fuck with me or my stuff, so I tend not to do it.
Okay, how about
worse?
like a favorite game you like to play or anything, like other than D&D?
Right. Really big in the Borderlands series. I've put I don't know how many hundreds to thousands of hours into that over the last few years.
That's a good one.
The Borderlands, the video game, right?
Yeah.
My buddy and I got really into that one, and it's addicting because you continually want to get the neck, because the gun, it's like, I think that game has more generated like weapons than any other game.
Yeah.
It does.
So that was fun because it kind of hooks you, because you keep wanting to get it, like auto generates new weapons as you continue to level up. So you continually want the next best gun. So I respect that. I enjoy that game too.
All right. I'm going to go off on a
tangent. Very,
tangent.
adult oriented.
Do you have a favorite character, and which of the three was your favorite
In the game?
Yeah.
Ooh,
no, outside of the game, Danny.
What are we doing?
What are we doing here?
The answer's obvious. It's Alistair Trenchscale. I mean, wait, did you mean
D&D?
Oh, you okay? You meant
Borderlands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
See,
my bad.
He's
well,
confused too.
There's several different games. Okay, and there's different characters. What was your favorite all-time character?
It had to be Tiny Tina.
Tina. She's a classic. It's so good. And the Assault on Dragon Keep is probably one of the best DLCs in existence.
But just the mayhem and chaos.
That's good. All right, I got a prank for you while we're warming up here. If we're getting to your origin story, Danny. I definitely told the prank about removing the stale air from the freezer, so you can take the bag and take everything out of the freezer, put the bag in, pull the air out. That's a great prank. But I'm going to tell a prank I played on my friend that involves icing, because I think icing is an art form that definitely needs to be perfected.
Yeah.
So I had a friend. We've been friends, I think, since we were like 5 years old. Longtime friends. Obviously, you have jokes amongst one another. He road trips to a ski cabin where we're all going to hang out for the weekend. He's in the car for like 8 hours. Takes him a long time to get there. So what do I do as his childhood best friend? I prepare ices for him. But not just one ice and not just two ices. 3 ices, because you obviously need 3 of them after a long road trip.
Where are you preparing them for him?
Okay, so this is where it gets good. So I know he's been in the car all day driving here. I know the first thing he's going to do is probably have to use the restroom, because that's what you do whenever you get there. So the first one, he opens the door and he goes to the toilet and he lifts the toilet seat.
You son of a bitch.
The Smirnoff Ice has been duct taped to the bottom of the toilet lid.
That is incredible. Oh, you didn't even put it in the bowl. It's duct taped to the lid. So he actually interacted with it. Interacted
with it.
That's brilliant.
So not only that, he goes to turn around and there was one duct taped to the back of the door that he has just entered. So now he has to do 2 back to back. Now the real kicker is the third one was a sleeper. I hid it in the medicine cabinet next to where the Tylenol is. So knowing that he was going to be hungover the next morning, the minute he reached for the Tylenol, he got iced again with one that had been in there for 24 hours.
Bravo, sir. That's masterful. That's masterful.
Oh yes, and I woke up to him screaming.
God damn it.
That was very early in the morning. Oh God, gotta love a good prank.
I do.
All right, Danny, we're here for you tonight. We're here for you today, and we want to hear a little bit about how you got into the industry. So tell us a little bit about, what hooked you in the hospitality world. How did you get into your first job? And how did you eventually get to, where you are today in Fayetteville, Arkansas? I said it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up in grocery and then in retail. And once I moved out to Arkansas, all my friends were making tons of money, waiting tables, going out to the bars every night, dropping $50. They're like, no big deal, I'll make it back tomorrow. Whereas here I am working a minimum wage job, waiting every 2 weeks to get a paycheck and then budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Fast money every night, like flexible scheduling.
Okay.
There was a new restaurant that was opening up in the mall where I worked. And I was like, this is perfect. Like I can do day shift at the retail outlet and then just go wait tables at night.
You've said a lot of things to date yourself, so I want to rewind this. Okay, so how old were you when you got this first job at the grocery store?
21.
Okay, 21. Okay, so malls still existed, and not only did malls exist, they were hiring. But there was a restaurant in the mall, and
Yeah,
this is a
outdoor mall.
time period when people went to the mall to also go out to eat. It was a whole day affair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you reveal the name of this mall restaurant?
Yeah,
You
it
don't
was
have to.
Mimi's Cafe.
Mimi's Cafe. Okay. What type of restaurant was this?
All American, French, breakfast, Southern. Like they kind of tried to do it all.
So not all American, a little bit of French in there too.
Yeah.
All American.
It was like
95% American. We're really close.
French cuisine and then like Southern cooking.
Okay.
So maybe Cajun, French, French, Southern, Cajun. I mean, that kind of mixes in.
Kind of, but
not
necessarily.
But no.
Yeah.
What Creole? You guys know what Creole is.
So polite. Oh, okay. So tell us a little bit about your first job here at Mimi's. What did that look like for you?
Just waiting tables. Really enjoyed getting the, like you said, fast cash, flexible scheduling, just like the social aspect of it, where everyone at the end of the night clocked out and went to the bar across the highway to spend the money we made that night and just hung out. But I really thought, as a young, naive 21-year-old, that like the bartenders were the coolest people in the building.
They are.
And I wanted.
They are. The damn right. The bartenders.
It doesn't matter how old you are. They are the coolest. Yeah.
So after a few months of just like begging and pleading and harassing my managers nonstop, they finally gave me a training shift.
Okay. So did Mimi's have a bar?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did the first bar program look like that you got to work in?
French 75s.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
No, not
the classic American cocktail.
It was early 2000s, so still in that martini boom. So, different apple martinis and chocolate martinis and all of that. Yeah.
Martinis at the mall. Oh, I feel like we're at the airport right now. Oh my goodness.
So keep in mind, this is like a standalone restaurant. It's not like the malls from like the 80s, 90s where you got like multiple floors. This is an outdoor like promenade style mall.
Okay.
Danny, I know that's how it was, but please don't mess with my headcanon.
Also, I think they just call that a strip mall, Danny. Come on, let's not mince words here, okay? It doesn't make it any more fancy just because you have to walk outside to go to the stores, okay?
Okay, so we learned to make martinis. This was the first.
Yeah,
the first one.
Their concept was family restaurant with a bar available if you wanted it. So realistically, the bartender was just a glorified server that also made occasional drinks.
Mm-hmm.
We also had an espresso machine back there, so it was all the cappuccinos, lattes, that kind of shit. Wasn't really a bar program until about 2 years after I started. They realized that, holy shit, you can make a lot of money on alcohol sales, and that's where your profits come in, right? So
Wow,
literally overnight,
that's a smart owner. Like, they figured it out.
Oh, wait, hold on. People like booze? Okay, let's go in this
Right.
direction. Yeah.
So they wanted to go from 3% alcohol sales to 10% sales, which was a
Okay.
huge jump in
It's a big
this
jump.
kind of restaurant. So they revamped the program. They hired in consultants. We did relaunches across the company. At that time, I was working as a corporate trainer, so I was doing store openings and then bar retrainings. And that's when they
Okay.
got
And
to
so
the,
how long did you work at Mimi's? Because if you started as a server and have worked your way up to corporate chain or the corporate trainer, that
yeah.
you were with them for a while or at least moved around.
I was with them for 3 years.
Okay. How many
Yeah.
restaurants do they have? Because this changes the game.
It was 190 something, I think, last count. I don't know.
Hmm.
Were these all Mimi's or are they just like a restaurant group?
Oh no, it was all Mimi's. It was a California-based chain,
Okay.
so they had them
Okay.
nationwide.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So they revamped the menu and you got to be involved in the process.
Yep, really went to those bright, sweet, fruity style drinks, using lots of the Island Oasis products.
Sure. Absolutely. All the
Yeah.
finest call syrups.
Finest call syrups. Do you remember X-rated?
I don't remember
neon
X-rated.
pink, like passion fruit liqueur.
Is this
Like
is
French
this another
vodka and-
California, Arkansas thing?
What even is that sentence? Is this another California, Arkansas thing?
Arkansas.
I don't know. I'm riffing. The train has gone so far off the rails already.
Right.
Like, we can never start with the game show ever again.
I think we should. I really enjoy it. It's a good
Yeah.
time.
I think it was a good
Can't do
segue.
this. Okay. So we revamped the menu, and this is when you got to get your first hands-on to designing menus or making cocktails.
No, it was just teaching someone else's menu. And then from there, I kind of moved around a bit in my early 20s. Did a short stint in Texas that didn't work out. I moved back to Tennessee where I started working for Joe's Crab Shack.
Okay.
Yeah. Just went into bartending there. I mean, you guys are familiar with those drinks. It's typical corporate chain, super sweet, bright colors.
Mhm.
Looks pretty on the menu.
Absolutely.
People are going to order it.
They're eye-catching, right? They're like the fajita effect, right? As you walk through
Exactly,
the
yeah.
restaurant.
It's like the
Exactly.
grandmother who usually is like, "Well, I usually don't drink, but that looks really good. I'm gonna try
Right. 'Cause
that." Yeah,
it's got the pineapple and the pretty flowers and
yeah. Fruit's
the
good for
plastic
you.
shark.
The plastic
Um,
shark. Oh, that's back now, though. The plastic shark is back. Have you seen this at Outback? It's back.
No, but I have seen it on Instagram stories from Tails this week.
There you
They have
go.
been doing shark truce shots.
Ugh.
Oh, that's the best. I do
Right.
love those.
So with Joe's, that's where I decided I need to be a grown up and go into management.
Okay. So you weren't a grown up when you were a corporate trainer, but
No, because I mean we're on the road. They're paying for our hotels, our apartments. We're getting a daily
Sure.
stipend.
Okay.
We're just fucking off every night, getting wasted, showing up hungover the next day. Like,
So this is how you make this drink. You
Yep,
put a little plastic shark in here. It's ready to go.
So this is what waiting 2 should have been. With Reynolds.
Right,
He should have
exactly.
become a corporate trainer.
That
in
is-
all the restaurants.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So
You
we're
ever-
at Joe's. You decided to grow up.
yeah. Went into management, went into bar management, and then got an opportunity to be a regional marketing director.
Hmm.
So packed up and moved to South Carolina. Absolutely hated it. But did not like the area, didn't like the team that was at the restaurant I was based out of. Loved my brand ambassador team that I dealt with on a day-to-day basis, but just that's when I realized I was done with that. Really wanted to move back to Arkansas. I was getting homesick. So really wanted to move back to Arkansas. So took a job with Zoe's Kitchen as a salaried manager just to get back into the state.
Yep. Absolutely nothing wrong with that too. And you also have this fantastic track record too of working with some of these chains to get to those leadership style roles.
Nice resume. Nice resume.
Absolutely. So I did Zoe's Kitchen, which if you're not familiar is just a quick serve counter service style restaurant. So everything's made fresh in house, but you order at the counter, someone just brings your food out and drops it at the table. That's it. There's not really a lot of interaction. There's also no bar program there. We had
Gotcha.
I think 3 wines and 2 different beers available should somebody want it with their dinner, but oftentimes I was ordering a case of beer a month. I mean, that's how
Sure.
low
Absolutely.
and then that was super corporate. I took a GM position with them and just hated my life. Working
Okay.
75, 80 hours a week, 13 days straight, no day off, getting called and having to go in on my PTO time. Like,
And this is when you were making cash and went to the bar across the highway and saw that the bartenders were the coolest people.
Right, exactly.
And then decided to get back into bartending.
Yeah. So I had a good friend whose boyfriend's best friend owns bars downtown here. And I was just like, hey, look, like, do me a solid, give me an interview. I don't need you to like put your name on there and get me the job. Just get me an interview. I'll get myself the job. And so that's when I moved into the college bars because it was open at that point. I was unemployed for 5 months. Didn't really care what I was doing. I just needed to make money at this point.
Hey, college bars are great. I did some of my best bartending working in college bars, and it's a blast.
This was one of those end of the night college bars.
So the best college bar is what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, you know, where people show up half drunk already, don't know their names. They're trying to pay you with like a hotel card or like
I think half drunk is being generous.
Yeah,
they're already in the bag.
Yeah. So really, I mean, it was nothing going on until midnight, and we did, you know, we got our asses kicked from midnight till 1 a.m. and then it was time to kick everybody out and go home.
So when did the transition happen for you to move from working in these high volume college bars to doing the craft cocktails and learning about whiskey like you do today?
So I moved. The guy that owned that bar also had a higher end bar downtown, incredible whiskey selection, and they had a bar back position open. And he was like, "Look, dude," he's like, "it's gonna be a lot of work. You'll work your way up, but you're gonna make hella cash here." And again, you know, I was working part time at the college bar, not really making the money I need. I was like, "Sure, dude. Like, I'm not afraid of hard work. Let's do it." So bar back there for just a short few months. The bar staff there was long tenured. I mean, most of them had been there between 7 and 10 years, and they were all just slowly getting burnout and looking for actual careers that wasn't in the industry.
Sure. What year was this?
This was 2019.
2019. Yeah, this is right around that time period where most people start to realize that you have to have almost 2 jobs sometimes in the bar world, where you do craft cocktails for your passion, and then you do like a side hustle or some high volume bartending, anything in between to kind of pay those bills for sure.
Yeah. And we were fortunate. Like I said, we had a high-end whiskey program. I mean, we had extensive tequilas. It was just underutilized, and no one really wanted to focus on that. They just wanted to sling basic ass drinks.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Once I took the bar manager position there, I asked if I could create a cocktail program. So
okay.
I've been looking at all this stuff online, you know, buying little things. This was late 2020, early 2021. When I really got into the craft cocktail scene. So I was, you know, buying bitters at home and making syrups and stuff. And I was like, I want to bring this to my bar. We didn't even have a cocktail menu at the time.
Wow. Which is an opportunity for them, because then they can push a little bit higher end cocktails and hopefully make a little bit more money, you know, instead of just pouring a Natty Light and a Jameson for some asshole who's sitting out at the bar.
Right. And that was one of my selling points was, you know, we can sell a vodka Red Bull for $6, or I can make this fancy cocktail people are wanting and sell it for $11, $12.
Yeah, exactly. So how does this work then, you know, being in a smaller market? You know, we've had personal conversation, we've known each other for a while, but how does this work working in a smaller market where you're not New York, you're not Chicago, you know, you're not Miami? How do you bring in some of these elements into the state of Arkansas to have at a bar program like this that you're trying to elevate?
It's tough. I mean, you know, I don't have 16 craft cocktail bars on the same street where we can all go and try each other's creations. I don't have a major brand presence here. You know, Campari or William Grant & Sons aren't here doing dinners or parties every month. So that's when I really started looking into opportunities and started traveling.
Okay. So how do you first get into, you know, finding these, you know, additional opportunities for you? Like, what was your first like aha moment that these existed? How did you find it?
It started because I am a sucker for targeted marketing. My Instagram is all bartending stuff. So I'd create a second Instagram just focused on like bartending cocktails. And I got an ad for the Bar and Restaurant Expo in Las Vegas.
Okay. I haven't been to that one. I've heard it's a very different experience in a good way. But
so I looked it up. was like, okay, this looks cool. Like they've got some classes, they've got some tasting opportunities, and then there's the expo hall where I can go around like try new products and see if I can find products I can bring to my bar without having to go do all the legwork of researching online, finding the
Mhm.
distributor, finding the retailer. Arkansas is one of those weird states where if you don't serve food in your establishment, you can't go through a distributor. You have to purchase from a liquor store.
Oh, that's so
Wow.
frustrating. That's
Yeah.
so frustrating.
Right. So then sourcing product becomes an extra step there because not only do you have to find who distributes, now you have to figure out which retailers actually carry it or will order it for you.
Sure, and I'm sure there's not a plethora of boutique liquor stores,
There's a-
scattered around.
Now,
No, there's a
I have
couple,
to
but-
jump in a little bit here because, Northwest Arkansas, that's where Walmart is from and headquartered. So like Northwest Arkansas has got some fucking money there. They really do have some higher end things going on because there's just a lot of fucking money down there. So yeah, I'm sure that's evolved over the years, but it's a real part of Northwest Arkansas.
Yes, and then just a little aside with that, Travel and Leisure released their top 10 cocktail cities earlier this year. I think it was like late March, early April. Bentonville, Arkansas was number 10.
Bentonville.
And
That's
where the Walmart,
incredible.
right? But I mean, when you're, in the same category as Miami, Chicago, San
Mhm.
Francisco, Denver, like that was really cool to see us on there. So we're up and coming.
Yeah,
That's a big
absolutely.
deal.
It's slow.
I'm pretty sure
you
it's
think-
because Big Ed lives down there, but go on.
Do you think that's a combination of, I mean, not to get completely off track, but a combination of like the current cost of living and people moving around a little bit post COVID? Like, what do you think's driving, Benton?
I think that's part of it. I mean, hell, cost of living here is amazing. I'll never leave. I pay $1,000 a month for my 2-bedroom, 2-bath, top floor apartment.
That's
Like,
incredible.
right. And this is a newer building too. Like it's not
I
like
think
it's
I had a
built
dream about that
20.
last night. That sounds so good.
So I think that there's a lot of transplants here because, like Mike said, we do have the Walmart corporate headquarters here.
Mhm.
We also have JB Hunt Transportation and Tyson Foods. So they bring in people from all over the country, either temporarily or people are relocating here for work.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we went to Bar Expo out in
Uh-huh.
Vegas.
Yes.
So how did you start opening the door to find some of these other conferences? Because I travel to a lot of conferences to do some fun things, and you are there every single
Right.
time, which is absolutely incredible. Because whenever you do these conferences, it is like a big family reunion. It's the only times that you do get to see these people from all over the country.
Mhm.
So how did you start finding out about more of them? Or could you give advice to people that are also looking for these opportunities?
Yeah. So when I was in Vegas the first year, I connected with my friend Yelena, who runs Cocktail Vision Instagram account and mixology products, and she told me about Tales of the Cocktail.
Mm.
So
Which is
I was
going
like,
on right now at the time of the recording.
It is. Little bummed I'm not there, but
I get it.
it is what it is. So in researching Tales of the Cocktail, I was like, this sounds really dope. Let me figure out what it is, when it is, what I need to do to go. That's when I learned about BCB in Brooklyn.
Okay, which is Bar Convent Brooklyn.
Yes. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is another trade show. Let me book this flight. And then when I got to Tales, I connected with a couple of really awesome people that introduced me to Wendy with Chilled Magazine.
Mhm.
So I got signed up with the Chilled 100 and then also got involved with Lush Life. So
And this is all in the
applying-
period of the same year.
Yes, this is all.
So we are fully embracing
Oh yeah.
the industry now.
I get hyper focused and like super obsessive about stuff. So I will waste hours just like deep diving into anything I can.
You sound like a true millennial.
Right.
But you're a millennial, right?
Absolutely.
All right, I just want to check.
Wow. Well, okay. No, Mike, how old do you think I am?
I just wanted to. Yeah, you're so much more mature than me. I just had to check.
Okay. Thank you for the backhanded compliment. Okay. So we're starting to get plugged in, and this is all in
Mhm.
2021,
2022.
thereabouts, 2022. Okay.
Mhm.
And so, you found BCB, you found Tails, you started to get connected with Lush Life. So what were some of, the ways that you started to keep finding these opportunities, or how do you go about like connecting with people to do that?
Honestly, Instagram has been amazing. One, for keeping in touch, for connecting with people. And again, I get targeted marketing all the time now because it is just an industry focused account.
Sure.
But
Absolutely.
also, signing up for Lush Life, joining the Chilled 100 has opened so many doors and just networking opportunities, getting to travel to New York to work with Spirits Awards, traveling to Louisville for Elevate with them, which then also meeting more people that are doing cool stuff.
All right, well, let's dive into the chilled media, Chilled 100. Since you brought them into the equation and you are doing some really cool things with them, tell us a little bit about the Chilled 100 and how you first started to interact. You mentioned Wendy. Tell us a little bit about who she is and how you guys got together to start doing some cool things.
So the Chilled 100 is a bartender advocacy group sponsored by Chilled Magazine, which is an industry publication. It's easiest way to describe it is it's the USBG without dues or the like super organization levels of it.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect way to describe that.
So it is headed up by Wendy out in Las Vegas. She runs the entire group. I think there's 1,100 of us now. So at some point, I think they're going to have to change the name.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Right. I actually had been communicating with Wendy, through Facebook and emails over competitions and stuff for a few months, and then met her in person at Bartenders Weekend last year.
And what is Bartenders Weekend for those that might not have ever heard about it?
It is a 3-day bartender appreciation hosted by brands in Southern California, and usually in February, March.
Okay.
So
perfect.
while most of these conferences are taking place Monday through Thursday, this is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Most of our
That's
days
the
off.
best time for a hospitality conference.
Yeah.
Everybody else works the weekends.
So Wendy was there helping out at an event. And if you've met Wendy, she always has the most iconic glasses.
She does have some pretty stellar glasses. She hasn't been on the show yet. We might have to bring her on just to
I think
to show off those.
Just a little cameo. But I just went up and introduced myself, knowing that that has to be Wendy. Look at those glasses. And I was just like, hey, I was like, I'm Danny. I'm your only other guy in Arkansas. Just want to introduce myself. Meet you face to face. I know we've been corresponding a lot. And then from there, it's like I've just become her right hand.
Wow, that's incredible.
So what are some of the events that you've done with Chilled since you started to get a little bit more hands-on and help out with the execution of their events? So tell us a little bit about, what you have been able to do.
First big one I had a hand in was working with the Spirits Awards in conjunction with BCB last year, which is just like, the San Francisco Spirit Awards or these other major highlights for brands to submit their product and be reviewed by a panel of judges and get a score that they can then use it as a selling point. I had applied to judge, and then within about an hour, I had emailed her and was like, hey, I would like to resend my application. I don't think my palate's refined enough, and I don't want to be doing a disservice to these brands that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars into the product. And I was like,
Sure.
But I would love to work it. I was like, are there any just like work opportunities?
That's actually a really fresh perspective.
Yeah, and also very noble and humble too. Very, very real. Appreciate that.
That's really cool. And you get the opportunity to be around people to learn from and, to be educated by. And there's something to be said for just being in the room, right? With many talented professionals from across. Okay. So what does that look like? The Spirit Awards? What does it look like on the back end, putting that together?
What job did you get?
So I was just volunteering with Spirit Awards, which was anything from organizing flights, pouring flights, washing dishes. But after about 2 hours of working it, I was running it. Wendy had a lot going on and wasn't able to do what she needed to do because she was stuck in the conference room with us on her computer for most of the time. So I was basically the liaison between the judges and the other volunteers.
And how many different spirits were sampled that you were putting together and helping to organize the tasting for?
Oh God, I think last year was 300 and something maybe.
Yeah, so not a small task to be pouring, 1 ounce pours of for how many judges?
4 judges per flight.
4 judges per
4
flight.
flights.
That's pretty good. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. And can
I ask a simpleton question? How do you not get drunk doing that as a judge? Do you have to spit it out in a bucket? I mean,
Yeah, I'll hop in.
Yeah, please.
So I actually was fortunate enough to be a judge for the first two Spirit Awards that Chilled put on. Actually, so basically, you're not really swallowing anything, right?
Mhm.
So every time you're pulling the glass up, you're doing a quick little smell, and then you're doing a little taste because the first sip almost always is going to fry your palate, especially if it's your first tasting for the day. There's a lot of alcohol. Sometimes you're blind testing barrel proof whiskey, so you have to be pretty careful. So you do a quick rinse, spit it out. Then you do a second taste. You kind of it's called chewing, where you mull it over, move it around your mouth, around your tongue. You're spitting again. The thing that I really liked about the way that the Chilled 100 did their tastings, as opposed to a lot of other industry tastings that I've done, is that they did break it down with the judges. So if you had 300 spirits, I as a judge didn't have to taste 300 spirits. That would be asinine over the course of 2 or 3 days. I mean, you would get drunk. I don't see a way.
Even if you're spitting it out every time, like
it's still hitting your taste buds, it's
exactly.
sinking in through your cheeks. You're inhaling it by sniffing so many. Like, there's no world, right? So by breaking that down and giving each of the judges like a flight of anywhere from 4 to 6 at a time, you're only doing maybe 6 or 7 flights a day, which is actually pretty reasonable, spread out over the course of 4 or 5 hours, right?
Nice.
So you're still kind of hitting like that legal limit of alcohol that's coming around for those. So
okay, cool.
That was a really good question, Mike.
Thanks. I also used to be a podcaster too, so.
Oh, God damn it. Okay. So you mentioned that you started to do other things with the Chilled 100 as well. And you mentioned Elevate. So what are some things that, you've done with Elevate or that you're looking forward to? I know that there's one coming up in a couple months. They're going back to Kentucky. So maybe give us a little sneak peek or ways you've been involved.
So I was a group leader last year for Elevate. So they divided up, they split half the group. Sorry, there was 150, 200 bartenders that get selected to go. It's an application-based process.
Sure.
The brands select you because there's all these brands that are sponsoring different dinners, seminars, and stuff. So they are the ones that sponsor it, take care of putting up some of the money for the hotels, the dinners, and stuff. But they limit the applications to only a certain amount of people that have been prior years can be selected again. So that way they're getting fresh people in there that have never gotten to experience it.
And that's really cool too. Spreading the love a little bit across the industry and helping people like you that are from a smaller market have the opportunity to come to an event. I mean, you mentioned
you say smaller market, but they're top 10. So I mean, come on, man.
That wasn't Fayetteville. That was Ben. I'm also an expert on Arkansas now.
I'm gonna look up how far away it is. Hold on 1 second.
20 miles. It's all Northwest Arkansas.
No, but like you mentioned, all the big cities get most of those marketing dollars. So having that opportunity that they spread who's able to attend, I think that's incredibly invaluable. Like that doesn't exist at these conferences.
Right. I know this past year there were people from Iowa, Idaho, these smaller states that you don't think of when you picture major cocktail programs. So it's really cool that people like them, like me, get to attend this and have that same educational opportunity that someone that bartends downtown Dallas or Chicago or LA gets.
Yeah. So they invite these people, they break them into groups. You're a group leader. What does that look like?
It is a lot of work. It is basically being dad and herding 30 drunk cats. But no, all jokes aside, it was a great opportunity. It is making sure that your entire group is on the bus in the morning for the distillery tours. It is making sure your group is at their assigned seminars and class sessions. It's making sure your group is at the luncheons, making sure they're getting to dinners. So just a little bit of extra, back-end admin stuff, sending out a few phone calls, text messages, maybe knocking on people's doors.
So that's what I wanted to ask. Like, have you ever had like some people that just were not able to show up for whatever reason?
Aside from one who was not alcohol related, it was a personal issue.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
You're a good dad cat herder then, if I do say so myself.
So first it's dad, and then you've got mom, who is Wendy. And if Wendy has to come banging on your door,
It's a problem.
it's a problem.
Sure. And like I will say this, like I think one of the really cool things about going to these conferences, and especially the ones that you apply for, the people that are there want to be there. And while there is drinking involved and while you have access, to alcohol, most people aren't actually overindulging at all. They're there because they want to connect, they want to learn, they want to have those opportunities. So it doesn't happen as often as you would think when you get 150 bartenders in one hotel.
Fair enough.
And that's a good point. This isn't like other conferences where it's just I'm spending a couple grand on flights and hotels just to go party for a week.
Mm.
Like you're going because you want the knowledge and the networking.
You've got some skin invested into the game, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So how do you take all of this knowledge that you've learned from going to these conferences, and pursuing these education things and bring them back to your home? How do you incorporate all of this into the bars? Like, how do you bring everything you've done back to center?
That's what I'm still trying to figure out. Working with my friend with trying to get the USBG is going to be a chapter, or USBG chapter is going to be the first step. So just that way we know who is interested. I tried with my previous bar program, and let's be honest, it's downtown. It's a bunch of mostly 20-something-year-old kids. They don't care. They're just there to sling drinks to make money.
Sure, they like espresso martinis.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So it's trying to find the right people that are actually invested in looking at this as a career and not just, a placeholder till they get their long-time career job.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Which after they try to get that long-time career job, they might look back and be like, oh, I should have really put some more time and effort into that because that would have been more fun. So,
oh, absolutely.
I'm not talking from, personal experience or anything, but go on.
No, definitely not. Especially when you phrased it like that. How can we ever be misleading?
But it's that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Trying to connect with smaller brands, and help them get a presence here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because that makes just a great partnership.
What are some of the tactics you use to bring in some of those smaller brands and to kind of bring them into the area?
Lots and lots of emails and really text messages.
Honestly, sometimes being the name that pops up all the time isn't a bad thing.
I've been in talks with Ron Cologne Rum for about a year now, and that's just finding a distributor. I mean, they're 100% on board. Katie loves being in tertiary markets because those are going to be the people that actually care. They don't have all these brands throwing dollars at them for activations to do a Bacardi or Cruzane event or to put it on their back bar. So it's these small markets where like these smaller brands really have an opportunity to shine.
Cool.
Yeah. If you don't know Ron Cologne, they are a fantastic company. I actually did a dinner with them a while ago, and it was one of the coolest things. Like a lot of times when you go to these brand dinners, the brands force cocktails on you. They force all these elaborate things. And you're like, I really don't want that. What they did as a brand activation is they bought everybody just a beer and a shot of their red banana oleo rum. And it was so refreshing after a week of being a judge in a spirits competition and tasting hundreds of spirits to just be given an ice cold beer by a liquor brand that understands what you're going through. That's cool.
Did you immediately spit some of it out just from habit?
Just out of reflex. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
so
actually
sorry.
on Danny. No. It was probably on Chandler. No, it was a really cool thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love you,
Chandler. Get at us in the comments.
I love you, Chandler.
But no, truly, they do have a delicious like red banana oleo rum, and like you're absolutely right for seeking out working with some of these brands that want to do these really cool things. Like that's a really, really awesome thing to see, and like a really cool thing that you're doing for your market. All right, Danny, it's about time to wrap this up, and I want to hear about your favorite shift. Now, you can leave this up to your interpretation, whether it's a shift you've worked or a favorite, type of shift that goes on in any restaurant. But I want to hear your favorite shift.
The first one that comes to mind was a home football game weekend when I was working downtown.
Okay.
We were playing University of Texas here, which was the first
That's a
time
big
it
game.
happened. Big game, huge rivalry.
Big game.
Hadn't happened in decades.
Mike and I are really big into sports, so this is
seriously, I watch every sports ball game I can get my hands on. So
okay. So Arkansas and Texas.
Texas fans travel. Texas fans drink. The bar I was with at the time opened at 4 p.m. I look up at 3:45, and there's a line of maybe 50 people waiting to get into my bar.
Fuck yeah!
And I went upstairs because we were a 2-level bar. We had a rooftop patio bar.
Which is always big with college football crowds.
Exactly. Especially
throwing that out there.
September when it's beautiful here. I looked at my other bartender and I was like, are you ready? I'm about to unlock the door. And when I do, it's not going to stop. We are going to get royally fucked. And there's nothing to do about it. So,
it's like you're like the Walmart manager on Black Friday.
Exactly.
Are you ready to do this? People are getting trampled.
Nothing could be more accurate. Having worked in an SEC football town, with college football bars in Gainesville, Florida, I promise you, it is like Black Friday.
So I open the door, and again, it's a nice September afternoon. Everybody wants to be upstairs, and I'm like, okay, I'll check IDs. That'll give my bartender upstairs 5 seconds of like just time saved. And so I'm trying to ID everybody coming in. And I remember there was this mom at the bar going, do we have a bartender here or not? And I just reflexively looked at it. I was like, yep, he's here. He is also the door guy, the bar back, the janitor, and the manager on duty right now. So you can just chill the fuck out.
Yeah, it is 3:50.
Right. And it did not stop until 1:45 a.m. when we kicked everyone out.
So did you have more staff come in? Because I'm worried at this point. It's just
we had a full staff scheduled. It's just we didn't think they'd be in on Friday. But I walked out that night with $1,400.
Hot damn.
Good night.
Right. So I kind of made all the pain a little worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into the football game on Saturday, and it's the same shit again.
But you're prepared a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, how did you know she was a mother? Did she have her children with her at the bar?
Yes.
Did she actually?
Yes.
Oh, I was being an asshole. That is hilarious.
So I also know that you're not into sports, Mike, because this actually happens. Like truly the earlier times during the day, especially on like the days before the college football games, families are out. A lot of them bring their campers, they tailgate, they park in the parking lot, they're visiting like old family friends.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times the earlier in the day, you get a lot of families, and guess what? They're needy.
She's like, I'll take two. Sorry, go on.
This wasn't like toddlers. These are like college age children.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's not as bad.
Yeah, let me clarify. Like,
words mean things, Danny.
I'll take a lemon drop martini, 2 chocolate milks, and a booster seat. You know, that's what I'm thinking.
Chicken tenders too.
Get the
chicken
tenders.
You have chicken tenders, right? Ketchup
Obviously,
with those chicken tenders.
Every bar has chicken tenders,
of course.
So the reason we ask this question is because like we all have this interconnected weave that we have as hospitality professionals where we always thrive in the chaos. We always come together. We work with the people that are closest to us, and we come through these challenges to the other side. And whether or not it's a college football game, getting ready for it on a Friday, Saturday, and it's you and one other person bartending for 60 people coming in the door, we all get through it together. And those are our people. Those are the people we care about. So it's definitely awesome to see that permeates everywhere across the United States. And not just there, the world.
The world.
I also have one final question for you. We haven't ever done this before, and I am very excited for this because you are the first guest who has come prepared with a little D&D love.
Yes.
We always have said on this show, if you've been a long-time listener or a first-time caller, that if you bring a character sheet or you submit anything to us, we'll talk about it. And you brought a character sheet to us, and I want to hear about your D&D character. Hit us, Danny. What do you got?
I actually want to keep that under wraps.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Well, I hear rumor that there may be a little side
we
question
talked about this before the show, and you let me sit here for 50 minutes getting excited about it. I need to tease.
John, delete this episode. Just cut it right now. Right, come on, tease us a little bit. Tease us a little bit, Danny.
Come on.
I have taken a lot of my video game like favorite characters that I've played. I do a lot of like looter shooter RPG style games like Diablo, Elder Scrolls are my favorites.
Mm,
Taken that and kind of made it my own twisted dark guy.
okay.
So you're a bad guy.
What? No, not necessarily bad.
Dark guy.
Perspective.
Dark guy. Yeah. Context.
Perspective.
That's it. That's
Okay.
the only
Okay.
tease?
Wait, no. Okay. Then, all right. Give me this then. Give me your favorite Elder Scrolls character.
That I created.
Yes, that you've played. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
See how you like that shit, John? You like that
Yeah,
shit?
there you
I wouldn't have got there.
All right. Here's a little teaser.
I would have just kept begging.
Well, we can keep begging. Tell us your fucking D&D character, asshole. Come on.
When Elder Scrolls Online released the Necromancer class,
Okay.
I created one, and he was a split damage dealer and healer.
Oh, now could he only heal necrotic damage?
He could fully heal.
Ooh, this is
That's
like
fun.
a
So
lot
kinda like
like
a-
dark, walking the razor's edge kind
Exactly.
of
Just
Grave
right
player.
there on that veil.
Grave player
Okay.
doesn't play D&D. Did I
thing.
guess your
Great player.
Did I guess your character class?
You did not.
Damn it.
Of course you didn't. Come on. So what's his weapon of choice then? Because you still got to have a weapon.
Scythe.
Nice.
Okay. Classic necromancer weapon.
Hey, you know what?
Right.
I'm feeling a lot of love right
Yep.
now because you've listened to all of the episodes of
Mhm.
Bardtenders, so you heard my character that got to come and play on the show.
That's good.
Barrett, the wizard necromancer.
It's true,
And
you got the-
so the next question I have, Danny, is how fucking cool was my character on the Bardtenders podcast? I mean, just go crazy with it, you know?
He was a badass. Like,
That's
I mean,
right.
he may have been some
That's right.
inspiration for what I wanted to do.
Oh, look at that shit.
Wow.
That's
Just-
right.
Just fishing for compliments. You're like, yes.
No, I'm not fishing for compliments. I'm digging up graves. That's what I'm doing right now.
Sure.
I see what you did there.
God damn it.
I love it.
All right.
I love the tease. I feel like maybe Danny might be on this show again, but on a different segment. Who knows?
It's like we have things planned in the works. It's a crazy, crazy concept. We love
don't
hanging
know.
out with bartenders. We love hanging out with nerdy bartenders that also love D&D.
Hey, you
It's a
fucking
good
nerd.
time. Heck yeah. All right. Well, aside from being a giant tease, Danny, thank you. Thank you very much for being on the episode. It was a fantastic episode. Really appreciate you taking the time to come on here tonight and tell us a little bit
Yes.
about what it's like to be in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah,
Good to
absolutely.
reconnect.
What did you call it at the beginning?
I couldn't even.
Arkansville.
Fernetville or
Arkansville.
Arkansville? That's what it was. Arkansville. That's a good
Okay,
one.
cool. Danny, your D&D character is now from Arkansville.
Arkansville. It's canon. Heard.
That's canon. That's canon.
Let me write that in.
That's good
I'm
shit.
from
I love that.
Arkansville.
I love that.
Done. Okay, that's what we call a full circle conversation. Danny, if people want to be able to find you, where can they find you, both in person if they're visiting Fayetteville, and where they can find you on social media?
If you're in Northwest Arkansas, I am at Local Lime, which is a Mexican style restaurant up in Rogers, Arkansas. Speaking of full circle, it is right next door to the very first restaurant I ever worked at.
That's cool. I
right.
love that.
Right. On social media, you can find me on Instagram at Drink with Danny. All one
Oh, look
word.
at those banners. My God, man. Fucking fastest fingers in the East, I guess, this guy.
Well, it's easy when there's only 3 of them. Banners, not fingers.
It's like, was there an accident?
God, I had to clarify. Damn it, I'm so upset.
That's good. All right, sorry.
Danny, any other shout outs you want to give?
Actually, I want to shout out our homie Chandler with
Yeah.
Herd Card Game, Chef with the Red Shoes.
Mhm.
She was the one that introduced me to your podcast a couple years ago when I met up with her in Dallas for an event.
She is a deep homie. Outside of Mike, she's been on the show more than anybody else. So
Mhm. Now, how did you meet? Why did you meet Chandler, the chef with the red shoes?
why did he meet, or how did he meet?
Exactly.
All right, we'll give Mike a little plug here. So
There
I
you
heard
go.
about Herd Card Game from Trey Ventures episode on
Yes.
the Bartender Rant podcast. So I started following Chandler, and then she was doing an event with Ron Colon in Dallas. And so I said, fuck it, it's a 45-minute flight, let's do it.
I still remember the
So
picture of you
just
two
got on a
together.
plane.
I booked a flight, booked a hotel to go to Dallas.
Nice.
That's kind of baller. That's pretty dope,
Right?
Oh, that's awesome.
Again,
Yeah.
I mean, until brands start doing dope shit here, I'm gonna go seek it out.
Mm-hmm. Like Chandler says, I just want to do cool shit with cool people.
Exactly.
She does on a regular basis. That's that's real. Heck yeah. Mike, any shout outs for us tonight?
Fuck yes, I have some goddamn shout outs. I know we talked about her a lot, but I want to shout out Wendy from Chilled, because when the Bartender Rant podcast went to Vegas, that's who Chandler introduced us to. And we're like, hey, we're this small podcast. We want to come out and do this. We like 50 emails within an hour. And because of Wendy at Chilled, that is why we got all of those amazing episodes, like Leah Grace and Adam Rains. All those people came on because of Wendy. So Wendy, if you're listening to this, thank you so much. That was incredible. I actually accidentally missed her for a dinner that we scheduled because we had a business meeting. Sorry about that, Wendy. Next time I see you, I'll buy you a drink. But shout out to Wendy at Chilled, because that was incredible. I also want to shout out Brewskis in Fayetteville. That's where Danny and I met for Trey Fincher's episode drop party. That was a fucking blast. Trey Fincher's episode is incredible. Shout out. You already did the shout out to Herd, but a lot of love to Chandler. And then finally, I want to shout out to John, because John asked me to do this show with him. And thank you so much. I've already told him multiple times. He's driving the show, and I kind of feel like the passenger princess. And I feel like John's like, why are you getting drunk and smoking in my car? That's kind of how I feel. So thank you, John. Big shout out to you, John. All right, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something good here. So I'm gonna turn it over to you now.
I feel so loved. No, thank you, Mike. Again, I've said this multiple times. I'm bad at accepting compliments. Thank you very much.
No, but I understand. I get it. I know who I am.
Mike, I want to throw a shout out back at you. Could you please show me that hippocampus that you drew again earlier? Censor. What are you doing? It's a show for children, obviously. All right. Well, that took too long. That was great. So shout out to that. One of the amazing things that we get to do now that Mike is kind of on the show here with me is that we're going to do some amazing fun content for you guys. That's more than just episodes in the mixing glass, and more than us just rolling dice and having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're just going to have a good time doing a lot of cool shit. So be on the lookout for that as we start to release some of that content and tease it to you guys. Unlike Danny, who doesn't tease his D&D
You
characters.
son of a bitch. I will never forgive you for that. I hope I can kill your character in a future
I'm gonna buy a flight and I'm gonna come find you. You take a note out of your book. My final shout out tonight goes to my favorite podcast,
What is that?
Bartenders.
Oh,
You're
Bartender.
listening to it right now. You're probably watching it on YouTube.
Never heard
You
of it.
can, you should check it out. Mike, 5-star reviews. You should give us a 5-star review. You should follow us. You should subscribe. You can check us out on social media at Bardtenders, or you can head to our website at www.bardtender.com. We have some amazing resources for mental and physical wellness, on-the-job education, and we feature some of our bards from around the country who have amazing side hustles and hobbies that they've sometimes turned into careers, and we advertise for them 100% for free all across our social medias to connect you with some really cool shit. I mean, you said it best what Chandler said. We like doing cool shit with cool people.
Mm-hmm.
That's a universal thing the bartenders do, and we like to support our homies. So check us out.
And most importantly, if they don't want to give you a 5-star review, what should they do?
Pay me?
No, yeah, pay him, or don't leave a fucking review, asshole. Get the fuck over yourself. 5 stars only. 5 stars only. Jesus Christ. Who do you think you are? A Yelper? God damn it.
I guess at this point, I don't know what I'm doing.
I was like, it was pretty good, but I didn't have a great time. So I guess like 3.5. Get over yourself, Sandy,
hold
and
on.
give a
I got
5-star review.
One final hot take. And this
Okay.
is something I heard. How do you feel about those 3.5-star reviews?
I don't like
I
them.
feel like that's the cop out, right? Because if you're giving a 5-star review, awesome, you loved it. Not enough of those out there. You're giving a 1-star review, you're just looking to have somebody hear you complain. But if you had
or warning people.
Exactly. If you have like a 2, a 3, a 4-star review, it really just sounds like you should have talked to your manager during service.
No, you know what? A 4-star review, I think is fair. A 4-star, if it is a genuine 4-star review, I think is fair. Not on this podcast, obviously.
No, absolutely not.
Everything else.
Totally.
The only reviews I will ever give are 1-star, 4-star, and 5-star. And 4-star, there is genuine constructive criticism involved. It still says, come back here, but this is what you guys could work on. But typically 5-star or 1-star, fuck those people.
Yeah.
The 1-stars I'm meeting.
2 and 3s, just don't do it.
No, fuck off. Just get your chocolate milks and your high chair and get the fuck out of this place.
Yeah, go to a college bar, get some chocolate milk, get some chicken tenders, and go with your mom. Hang out with your mom.
Did you just say Sandy?
Yeah, I did.
So, funny story. When I just started my new job at...
This is bonus content. This is bonus content. Hold on.
So when I started, took this promotion to bar manager, my regional manager was setting up like all my accesses with like our scheduling program, my shift notes program, my labor and sales tracking software, and she just fast fingered it. I was entered as Sandy Posey.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we talked about pranks at the beginning of the episode.
This is the one.
This is one of the pranks I love to do as a manager. I like to change my employees' names on their credit card chits whenever they're printed, and then see how long it takes my employees to figure out that I've changed their name. But
what's the most egregious?
So it has to be a slight change. So like, if someone's name is Danny, it changes to like Sandy. Or if someone's name is Carrie, it is now Gary. Because whenever you're busy and in the flow, and someone says, "Oh, thanks, thanks, Sandy," you're like,
"Wait, what?"
You're like,
so you're made. You just switch up the genders, is what you do. I got it.
Change it just slightly, just enough, and just see how long it takes. Oh, it's good.
I love that. That's a good one.
Oh, all right. So Sandy Posey, thank you for being on the show. And Nick Windsor, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Fuck you. I don't know. Jeanette material. What's it? God damn, I failed.
So close.
It's like the OnlyFans. It's like the OnlyFans. You got me again, you son of a bitch. On that bombshell,
I'm clocking out.
All right,
clocking out.
Me too. I'm gonna go get drunk across the street.
Spend my $50.
Cheers to that.